Hello and welcome back to the channel, and I'm welcoming you back to both channels because this video is going to go on both channels because it's a bit of a crossover between the two. It'll come apparent why, and because I've got my beer channel, my brewery and my beer review channel, and this channel is about baking and, well, about everything really, and it includes some baking. So it's going to be a bit of a crossover, so if you subscribe to both, it's on both. I apologise. What I'm going to be doing today is my version of a pretzel. So it's not an original pretzel because obviously I'm not in Bavaria, I'm not in Germany, I haven't got the German ingredients, but I'm going to do my version. And it's my version for Oktoberfest. It's Oktoberfest season at the moment in Germany, over in Munich. I've got myself the 6 bottles of the Oktoberfest beers, only by the breweries that can only serve in the Oktoberfest, that is. Again, that's a whole different story. And I wanted to have some sort of pretzels, but I could buy them or I can make them. And I thought I'm going to challenge myself and I'm going to make them. So that's what this video is all about. It's making pretzels, doing it my way, and then I'll come back at the end. We can have a taste. I'm going to do 2 different types of pretzel. I'm going to do a bacon and cheese pretzel, and I'm going to do a bog standard salted pretzel. So I'll show you the ingredients, show you the method, and we'll come back at the end and we'll have a taste. So this is the ingredients for the whole process basically. We've got the cheese and bacon there for the cheese and bacon pretzel. I've gone with smoky bacon just to give it a bit more flavour. Smokiness. I could have gone with smoky cheese, but I thought I'd stick to the cheddar and just put some smoked bacon in there for a bit of flavour, a bit of smoked beers and smoked food. To me just reminds me of Germany. So pretzels, German. I'm trying to just put something back there. We've got 500 grams of the flour. So I've got white bread flour. We've got 15 grams of dry malt extract. That's just going to add a little bit of flavour and a little bit of food for the 7 grams of dry yeast we've got. We've got 30 mils of Latz olive oil, but you can use butter or any type of fat really for the dough. We've got 10 grams of salt, which is a sea salt. And then when it comes to another part of the process and the method, we will have, 50 grams of bicarbonate soda. This replaces lye, because I don't want to use lye, and 1.5 litres of water, which is on the stove. This is the salt, which is going to cover the pretzels for the salted pretzels. And I think the last thing on there is this one. And this is why it's a crossover, because this is my homebrewed Pilsner. Now that's going to be the liquid rather than the water to make the pretzel. So it's it's a Pilsner. So it's a German style Pils. It's been brewed with German yeast as well. So yeah, I'm going to use that, and that's going to give them a nod to my brewing channel. So that's why it's a bit of a crossover video. So I'll get on, I'll mix it together, and we'll come back and see how I'm doing it. Okay, so I've got the dry ingredients. So first thing I'm going to do is add in this dry malt extract. Like I say, this is just really gives a bit of food to the yeast because it's a sweet malt. And then put the yeast, sprinkle that in. Not too concerned. I could actually just give it a bit of a mix at this point. Mix it all together, bring it together, make a bit of a well. Then add in my salt. Give that a bit of a mix. Then add in my fat, which for me is olive oil, but you could use butter or any fat really. You could just melt it down and use it. So that's all the dry ingredients in, all that together. Now for the wet, which will be the homebrew Pilsner. So yeah, I've got my homebrew Pilsner, Doesn't really matter. Coming out at 4.1%. It's a cracking Pilsner I've brewed. Let's get it open using my Bramall Backroom Brewery bottle opener. So we want 300 ml of this. This is a 330 ml bottle. And I'll leave a little bit at the bottom. So I'm just guesstimating here, to be honest. See that nice colour. Yeah, I leave like, because it's a homebrew and it's bottle conditioned, just leave that little bit of sediment at the bottom. And that works out around about 30 mils anyway, so not bad. Perfect size for doing this. There you go. So let's leave that little bit at the bottom there. Now I've got to get my hands stuck in to the beer and the flour. This is the fun bit. Okay, the fun bit now. Getting the Pilsner and the dry ingredients mixed together. Some people say it's sacrilege. You know, that beer, you've wasted it, but I've not, because that beer is going to help with the process of this bread. It's going to help it rise. It's going to give it a little bit of flavour, and it just feels a little bit more authentic to me. You know, it's a German style Pilsner, and it's got the German lager yeast in there. So it just, for me, I just feel a little bit happier doing that. The aroma is absolutely superb, unbelievable. But yeah, so I'm going to bring this together into a dough ball, and we'll come back. Okay, so brought the dough together, about 10 minutes of kneading. Come around, it's looking good. So I'm going to put it into my glass bowl, my bowl. I'm going to let it proof now for about an hour, sort of like let it double in size. Then I'll knock it back, and then I'll come back to you. It's rested for an hour, so it's definitely doubled up. So I'm going to knock it back, knock some of that air out. And now it's time to divide it into 8 pieces. Just get it out onto the board. You want to try and get it as equal as you can, 8 equal pieces. Then we'll move on to the next stage. Okay, so I'll split them up into 8, about 100 grams each. 4 of them I'm going to put bacon and cheese in, and then 4 just plain. So the ones I'm going to do now is the bacon and cheese. So I need to get that bacon and cheese into here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to flatten it. Just cook some of this smoked bacon. I'm going to put some of that on top. And then put some cheese in there as well. And the idea now is I want to try and bring it together into the dough. So I'm trying to roll it into that dough. Hopefully it all comes together. Just make like a sausage shape just for now, and then let it prove again for about 15-20 minutes. So yeah, I'm just going to do 4 of them, let them prove, and then we'll come back. So we've got the bacon and cheese ones here, and then we've got the plain ones. So we're going to let these prove now for another 15-20 minutes. Okay, so now we've got the dough, and what I've got to try and do is taper it out so it's like a snake, the best I can. So you want it really stretchy. So this has got the bacon and cheese inside, if you remember, and I'm trying to get it so far out and then bring it round to shape. So it's over the top, stretch it out a bit, and then over the top again, and then it's a case of bringing it over itself and sticking it down on the fat bit, this bit here, and then just stretching it out. And then carry on like that, do the rest, and then put them in the fridge for about 20 minutes just to to help them firm up before to go to the next stage. Right, so I'm going to put 50 grams of Bicarbonate Soda into the water. And this is apparently something to do with the pH in the water. And traditionally, I've done some counting. Traditionally, for a pretzel, you'd use lye, but lye is lethal. and I wouldn't recommend anybody use that at home. Let the professionals do that. So this is a substitute for lye, and it's the bicarbonate soda. I think in America they call it baking soda, but 50 grams in 1.5 litres of water. Going to get that up now to a boil, and then put the pretzels in for 30 seconds to a minute, just to basically, a bit like you would with a bagel, it just firms them up and then it goes into the oven to bake. Okay, so got it to boil. A little bit of effort. Get one in, we might get two in here. Now you need to just to like simmer like that for 30 seconds to a minute, and then we'll get them back out on the tray ready for baking. So all I'm doing now is putting some of the water mixture onto the actual pretzel and then cutting with a blade in the fattest part of the pretzel. This is just to help it open up. So you do that with all of them, and then you sprinkle a little bit of salt just on top, and then they go in the oven for baking. Right, so that's them done. They're baked. Baked them for 15 minutes, and you can see it's worked out. The salt stayed on. That one's the cheese and bacon one. That one's a plain one, and there's just a mix of them. So yeah, that's how you make pretzels at home. Fairly easy. And I'll do a tasting now, just to see what it looks like. I'll break it open and have a look. Okay, so you can hear, you know, it's got that crispness. Show you, this one is a shop bought one. Obviously their shape's a lot better, but I'm more than happy with these, to be honest. These looking pretty good to me. And yeah, it's got the, so that's what I cut it in half. This is the bacon and cheese one, so that's what I'll show you now. See if you can see it's out of the oven, so you can see there, that's the bacon and cheese in there, and you can see that bake. It's worked really well. Pleased with that. So let's have a, I think as it's warm, there you go. I'm just like dissecting it. There's the bacon and cheese in the middle. I'm not being biased, but that is really good. Honestly, the saltiness of the bacon, smokiness, comes through really well. I say, if you like a good pretzel, you want a bit of bacon and cheese in there, go and do this recipe. It's really, really good. Okay, thank you for watching. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one.